Have you ever wondered if one day we could capture the energy of an entire star? Imagine a world where we have limitless energy, powering everything from cities to space travel. It sounds like science fiction, right? But here's the kicker. Scientists are actually exploring this possibility, and it's called a Dyson Sphere. In this video, we'll dive into one of the most mind-blowing ideas in space science. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll be asking yourself, could this really happen in our future? Let's take a step back. Where did this wild idea come from? It all started with a brilliant physicist named Freeman Dyson back in the 1960s. Dyson wasn't thinking small. He envisioned a civilization so advanced that it could build a structure around its star to capture every bit of its energy. Imagine harnessing not just a small part of a planet's power, but the energy of an entire star. It's like switching from using a tiny campfire to having the power of a supernova. So, what exactly is a Dyson Sphere? Picture this: a gigantic structure built around a star, capturing all of its energy. But as cool as that sounds, a solid sphere would be impossible. It would collapse under its own weight, and let's be real, where would we even find the material to build something that massive? But here's the exciting part. What scientists now think is more realistic is called a Dyson Swarm. Imagine millions, maybe even billions, of solar-powered satellites orbiting a star, all collecting its energy. It's like a gigantic net cast across space, capturing every drop of sunlight. And get this structure could potentially generate 1 billion times more energy than what we use on Earth today. Here's where it gets wild. Scientists aren't just theorizing about Dyson spheres, they're actually looking for signs of them. In 2015, astronomers discovered a star called Tabby's star that was dimming in a strange, unpredictable way. Some scientists speculated that this could be evidence of an alien megastructure, maybe even a Dyson swarm. While we still don't know for sure what caused that dimming, the possibility that Dyson spheres could exist out there has never been more real. Let's talk numbers, because this is where things really get crazy. Earth receives only a tiny fraction of the sun's energy, and yet that's enough to power entire continents. A Dyson sphere, however, would capture all of a star's energy, roughly 10 power 26 watts. To put that into perspective, that's more than 1 billion times what humanity uses globally right now. Imagine what we could do with that kind of power. Entire cities running without ever worrying about fuel. Starships capable of traveling across galaxies. Even massive space habitats housing millions of people. The possibilities are mind-boggling. All right, let's break this down to something a bit closer to home. How much energy do humans use today? Globally, we consume around 580 million terajoules of energy every year. That's a huge number, but let's look at it per person. In the United States, for example, the average person uses about 12,000 kilowatt hours per year. That's like having 500 light bulbs turned on for an entire year. Meanwhile, in India, the average person uses closer to 200 kilowatt hours, a tenth of what Americans consume. And here's another mind-blowing fact. China consumes the most energy globally, accounting for 24% of the world's energy use. But despite that, their energy use per person is still less than half of the US. Now, imagine a Dyson sphere providing more than 1 billion times what we currently use on Earth. It's almost unimaginable, but that's the kind of energy potential we're talking about here. Okay, so we've established that a Dyson sphere could give us an insane amount of energy. But how would we even start building something like that? First off, you'd need materials, lots of them. We're talking about mining asteroids, maybe even entire planets, to get enough resources. Here's where the fun tech comes in. One idea scientists are throwing around is using self-replicating robots. These robots would build more robots, which would then go out and keep building the Dyson swarm. It's like a futuristic space colony of ants, all working together to create this massive energy harvesting network. While this sounds like something straight out of science fiction, we're already developing robotics and AI that could one day make this possible. Now, let's say a Dyson swarm exists somewhere out there in the universe. How would we know? Well, a structure like this would block a lot of the visible light from a star, but it would still emit heat in the form of infrared radiation. NASA's WISE telescope has been scanning the universe for these infrared heat signatures. So far, no luck. But if we ever detect one, it could be one of the first signs of an advanced alien civilization. How cool is that? You've probably seen Dyson Spheres pop up in science fiction. In Star Trek: The Next Generation, the crew stumbles upon a massive Dyson Sphere, and in the video game Halo, there's a structure called a Dyson ring. Sci-fi is full of these incredible ideas, and the best part is that these fictional concepts often inspire real-world scientific thought. What was once just imagination could one day become reality. Let's talk about the Kardashev scale for a second. This is how scientists measure the advancement of civilizations based on their energy usage. We're currently a Type 1 civilization, which means we use energy from our planet. A Dyson Sphere, however, would push us to Type 2, a civilization that can harness the total energy of its star. Think about that. Once we can collect all the energy from a star, the possibilities for technology, space travel, and colonization are endless. Now, here's the big question. Could humans ever build a Dyson Sphere? Well, it's not happening tomorrow, but we're already making small steps in the right direction. We've got companies like SpaceX pushing the boundaries of space travel, and there's growing interest in space-based solar power, where we could place solar panels in space to collect energy directly from the sun. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be mining asteroids or entire planets for materials to build something like a Dyson Swarm. It's a long shot, but remember, landing on the moon once seemed impossible too. One of the coolest aspects of Dyson Spheres is their potential to help us find alien civilizations. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, has been listening for alien signals for decades, but now they're also looking for Dyson Spheres. If we found one, it would be the ultimate proof that we're not alone in the universe. Imagine that, detecting the technology of an alien species from thousands of light years away.